Hello and welcome to the Blackout, where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And this one has been actually, even before the show, I've been trying to get this to happen, but Sehmat is always busy. My guest is, so let me see, actor, influencer, like, just all model, all around. Man, you do so many things. So I'm going to enjoy this conversation. But thanks for coming to the Blackout podcast today.
Thank you for having me. I mean, we've known each other for so many years now. I think we met in 2017.
Yeah.
Was it? I think when you were doing Drown the Lovers, you were like, hey, would you like help us promote it? And from there, it kind of went to like, I came on set and I was like, oh my God, you guys do so much cool stuff. And then helping out with some of your productions and being in some of your productions. And it's been a very creatively fruitful friendship, I think.
Oh no, I'm super lucky for that. So let's talk about actually Blackout. Drown the Lovers was kind of where it really started for me.
Yeah.
All my life I've been wanting to make. Now you're interviewing me. But really, let me just give a quick snapshot. All my life I've been wanting to make movies, and then I got this opportunity to make this one. But I really wanted a lot of people to see. So like you helping me promote it, you coming on set, taking photos, putting on Instagram, like really took the film to the next level. And it played at festivals. It actually had festivals invite me. And like, so that was really, really great. I'm super grateful for that. And now I was like, hey, well, do you want to try this thing? And you're like, and I kept throwing you in the deep end of things.
No, it was great. Honestly, I loved it. And I think after like spending so much time with you guys on the back end, I was like, man, I really, really love, that was my first exposure to like the back end of like video production, film production, short films, like longer, like that was my first sort of exposure to it. And I was like, man, this stuff is actually really cool because it's so technical and there's so much that you have to learn in so many different spaces. And I was like, wow, I feel like eventually if I stay in this space, like eventually it made me realize that I want to maybe go into like directing or producing or something like that, because there's just so much to learn and there's so many different sort of pieces and so much movement going on. And it's really great to have that experience.
I should have mentioned this before, but like I'm gonna throw into the deep end again. Like there's a script that is great.
Okay.
I can't produce it, but I want you to.
Oh.
I'll talk.
For sure.
It's the script. Like I want to say, I don't. Okay, so when I critique stuff, I tend to be nice. Like I'm the nice critique, right? But I kind of point out what I think might be issues, highlight the great things. So I've been working on the script with this friend, and it's amazing. But I can't produce, like there's a program we want to do, like the Film 5 program actually.
Yeah.
So I can't do it anymore because I've done all the things to that program. But I think it will be a great fit. I will talk about that after we record.
Okay, great.
But so let's rewind. Which one started? Was it like modeling, or which one started first for you?
So the way that it kind of started for me, I've always been a very creative person. Like even in school, like I was a part of like the drama club. I did theater production and like all that kind of stuff. And I loved it. I've always loved being on stage. I've always loved doing that kind of stuff. And then the way that it kind of started for me here is I was very involved with like the little entrepreneurial community at St. Mary's. And we have a conference every year called Starting Point Conference. And one of the people who came there, one of the speakers there, he was at that time the founder of Be Human Clothing, which was like the chokehold that had on Halifax in like 2017 and 2018. And I remember speaking to him and I was like, I'm super interested in this type of stuff. And he made me meet the COO and CEO at the time. And the CEO at the time was Dave Culligan. 365 Productions. So he was heading up Be Human Clothing at the time. And I met with them and they were like, do you want to be a brand ambassador? Like you get free merch and you get to be in photo shoots. And I was like, Yeah, sure, why not? And, we went out and I got to meet so many creative people through that and do all these photo shoots. And at the same time, I had started a small business with some of my friends. We were doing like a henna design business. And obviously, if you need to promote that, you need photos. And I would take these photos and I'd be like, man, like I really like to do this and I think I'm good at it. So, I just started going out and taking photos with friends and stuff like that. And I met you at the same time and I started doing all of this stuff on the back end. And then at the beginning of 2018, I reached out to Cheryl, who's my agent now at City Models. And I was like, these are some of my photos. I would like to model. And she was like, yeah, sure. And I signed with City. And ever since then, like, I've worked with so many photographers, so many makeup artists, so many hairstylists. I've done so many different things in the city. I shoot a TV show now, which is like super cool. It's called Ocean Playground on Eastlink. And we just basically go around Nova Scotia shooting fun activities that there are to do around the ocean and, water-related activities. And it's been such a blessing because I'm now shooting the 4th season of the show.
Nice.
And we just go and do so much cool stuff. I'm actually going to shoot for the premiere of the season after this, after our chat. And it's just been a very, very cool journey. But like, this isn't the only thing I do. I also like work a regular 9 to 5. But yeah, it's been very, very cool to do all of this stuff.
Okay, so a question has always been at the back of my mind, but that I've not actually thought of asking, but I'm just going to ask is because, like, you were doing all that stuff when you were in school.
Yep.
But, like, you were always in the honor roll. How did you balance all that stuff?
I mean, I think I was very lucky that I did a little bit of an advanced program when I was in high school. So I did the British curriculum. I did A-levels. So when I came to university, I already had credits for my first year. And a lot of what I was learning at the time was stuff that I had already learned in high school.
Right.
So it was easy for me to like keep up with that. And I think it was also just that determination of like, I just have to do well. Like no matter what, I was like, my academics cannot suffer in any way at all. So it was like, if anything is getting like super overwhelming for me, like I will put other things aside so that I can focus on my classes and stuff like that. So I think that was really important to prioritize as well. But I was also very involved when I was at university. I never had less than 3 jobs. I was always volunteering as well because giving back is very important to me. And I think at that time you just have like so much fire because you're like 18 years old and you're like, I want to do all the things and make a place for myself. So now when I look back at that time, I don't think I was super overwhelmed. I just had like a ton of stuff that I wanted to do. And I was like, I'll make time and I'll do it. And now I'm just like old and tired all the time. So
okay. So let's talk about immigrating. And, coming from India to Canada, how was that experience for you?
It was honestly, when I look back now, people are always like, oh my God, you moved here when you were 18 all by yourself. Because I literally like just packed 2 bags and got on a plane. Like we have some distant family friends who live in Halifax who now I'm very close to because I came here and I've spent so much time with them and they've been amazing and so good to me. But I didn't know anybody when I came here and that was kind of my intention. I was like, yeah, I'm going to graduate high school and I'm going to move to another country where I don't know anybody and start afresh. Like I never thought of it as challenging, but now when I look back at it, I'm like, wow, that was like a little bit scary. But I feel like the mindset was not that, oh my God, this is such a big change and stuff. It was just, this is something that I have to do. And that kind of made the transition a little bit easier of like coming up and starting from scratch. But like after my first year, I know that I struggled quite a bit because I didn't realize that I was having culture shock until I had gone home for the summer after. And I was like, wow, things are really different there. Because
right. What were some of the things that you noticed?
So first of all, it's like people are very polite here, but the warmth is not the same as when you're back home. People are polite and it's great to be polite.
It's like you're watching a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, it's great to be polite and that's so lovely, but that same level of warmth is not there. So like back home, if I meet somebody once, it's all great. We meet each other. And if I see them again, like 3 days later, like I'll go and hug them. Like they're my best friend. Oh my God, so good to see you again. But it's not the same thing here. And when you go to university, especially in a small city like Halifax, a lot of people have come from like the surrounding towns and stuff like that. So they come with their friends from high school. So it's really, really difficult to break into those friend groups, which is why obviously you have like welcome week activities and stuff. But it would be like I'd meet these people at these welcome week activities and I'd see them in the hallway 3 days later. And it would be like we never met, we never interacted. And I think that was really hard for me where I was like, did I do something wrong? But like now when I look at it, it's just so culturally different. And eventually you like find a way to fit into that. But I know that I struggled quite a bit with that initially as well. I had a lot of, like I had one friend group when I came and then I had a lot of changes to that friend group through the year. So that little bit of instability was there. And I remember when I went home, I was like, I don't know if I want to be at SMU forever. Like, I don't know about the people. Like, it's such a small school. And I was very seriously thinking about transferring to McGill. But at that point in time, I had got a job as a residence assistant and I got involved with a lot of volunteer opportunities on campus. And I think that really helped me find a very good, stable group of people who had the same ambition and drive as me. So again, it was very much about like finding your people. You won't find them immediately, but if you put yourself into things that really fill your cup and give you joy, you'll find people who find joy from the same things, and those are the people that you want to be around because they'll push you and stuff like that. So that has been really great, and I just ended up staying in Halifax, and in August it'll be 8 years since I've been here. I got my permanent residency in November of last year. So Halifax has been very good and very kind to me, for sure.
One thing you didn't mention though, I've never been to India. I hope to go someday. But everyone keeps saying how hot it is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then like you moved from there to Canada. How did you find the...
Bam, I've been here for 8 years and I'm still not built for this. Like every single winter, I'm like, why? This is so miserable. And this is honestly the reason why I know I'm probably not going to stay in Canada forever. I just cannot deal with the winters. Like imagine if I had to move to like Alberta. I would actually die. I would actually die and not know what to do with myself. But yeah, I mean, temperature wise, obviously, I love the heat. Just throw me in the heat and life is all good. But it's a little sacrifice to make, I guess, when I see how much I've gained from the experience of being here. And I mean, I guess it's similar for you as well. Like you've done so much cool stuff since you've been here. You're telling me about always doing things. You're always doing things. Like let's hear all the new things that are happening with you. Let's hear it.
This is all about. Well, so that script is I think so something people. Here's the thing. Okay, I'll rewind a little bit. Like. There's politics in everything,
right?
And if we just want to be honest, we should just admit it. So, there are certain films that you make that everyone is going to just throw money at you, and I don't really like making those films because, like, I mean, it's good and stuff. But doing this for a while, you kind of know what boxes to tick, right?
Right.
And this script ticks every box. Like, I'd make it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I just, once, I didn't. The other thing is I didn't want to reach out to you till I go to this stage, and I think it's ready. And I'm going to make sure you have it, and set up the meeting with the person that wrote the script. And it's like, if that film is made, it's just going to do the rounds, and you and this writer director, you guys, like, you're going to decide, do I want to do film or stuff? It's that good. And I think it's going to check that box. It's like, and it's not, the thing is, so I'm part of this program where every couple of weeks you write a script and everybody reads it. And, and then I was like, holy shit, there's something here. You know how first drafts are, right?
Yeah.
And then, so the person applied to this program got in, and then I was supposed to like help them work with the scripts, and we worked with it. It's been like, and that's another thing people don't know. Like people see the film come out, they don't know someone has been working on it for years and years. So it's been like a year, almost a year now.
Wow.
Because it was like during COVID. But I think it's ready now, and I'm going to I think when you read it, you'll see how happy I am for it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And then I just made, hopefully it's going to play in the festival in September.
Amazing.
But there are these two sisters. So
the film that you made with Ruby and Otney, right?
That one
did amazing. It's like everywhere, and so many accolades and stuff. And those two women are so amazing, and I love them so much.
You know, the funniest thing about that film is they didn't really believe they were right for it, and like I wrote the script with them in mind.
Oh my God! Like,
yeah,
nobody is better suited to play sisters than like Ruby and Otney.
Like,
if you guys watch this, know that I said that.
No, really. So I wrote the script with them in mind, and that film was therapy for me, really. Like with what happened with George Floyd and stuff, and COVID and stuff. So I wrote that film, and through this program actually.
Okay.
And the whole plan was to write it and leave it. But then a couple of people read it and was like, are you going to do anything about this? And I was like, I don't know, you know, like I couldn't get funding for it.
Yeah.
Because like
it's a controversial thing to talk about.
It's different.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've always had an idea of making something like that. So there's a film. I mean, I can't remember the title, but it's about this. He was like a slave, but then he like got all these black people and then they attacked.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name, but then there was this whole controversy about that he assaulted someone. I can't remember the name, but anyway, so that kind of squashed that film. But the film was really good. Okay. And I've always thought of doing something like that. And I remember when I heard No Church in the Wild, the Jay-Z Kanye West song.
Yeah.
That, like, I had an idea for, okay, if they make the music. Now, I've not seen in fact, funny story. I just saw the music video for this song like a few weeks ago. And I didn't know there was a music video for the song. Apparently, the music video was made 10 years ago. And the music video fits the song. It's great. I love it.
Okay.
But I think the idea I had for it was better.
Okay.
So I've always had this thought of like, sometimes you won't understand. There are some things you can't understand until you experience it.
Absolutely.
Know? So I was like, what if? And, you know, just went from there. But also I had to make this film in a day with like, just my friends, just like, and it was just like the first, okay, we can start meeting. I think then we could meet up to 10 people or 15 people.
Yeah.
So that was like the first kind of opening, and I was like, okay, I have some money. I'm just going to beg everyone, ask favors here. Yeah. And then that night was really cold, and the water tiny. Oh man, the poor ladies. But anyway, we made this film, and my idea was, okay, I'm just gonna make it, and that's it. I didn't know that people would show it, so I'm really thankful for the festivals that showed it and like what has happened with the film. So yeah, that was okay. But the other from that film, I met this lady. Her name is Nikki Martin.
Okay.
And she's like a yoga teacher, and just an author actually. Wrote this book, is a series, and I want to make this TV show of that. I'm like, So I reached out to her. I was like, I love these books. I'd love to option it. And she was like, I don't, you know, the thing is, she's always written scripts, but like she's a woman of color, like she's a woman of color.
Yeah.
No one was listening to her. So she just okay, fine, I'll just keep this thing in the back. And I was like, let me see some of your scripts, right? So she sent some scripts. I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, Canada, it's like there's always a ladder, and you can't go from A to C. You kind of have to do A, then B.
Yeah.
So I love these scripts, but that's like D scripts. I'm at like A now. Can I see what, you know? So I told her what I thought would work.
Yeah.
And she came back with these beautiful scripts.
Yeah.
And, you know, now, like, I love writing and directing, but I'm more into producing now. Because, like,
you have so much more control on the back end. And I think you raise a really good point, especially with her being a woman of color, is Halifax is a very small creative community. And there isn't a lot of representation in this creative community. And I think what you are doing is so important, and what you have been doing for the last few years is so important, because it's so great to see people who look like us in these positions of control, whether it's directing or producing or different things like that, because you feel like you can relate and you have so much to learn. Whereas I feel like if I went into this community like not knowing anyone, not seeing anybody who looks like me, it would make me not want to ask as many questions, or maybe not want to be as involved in the process. And that's for nobody else's fault except for my own and my own mental stuff like that, right?
I don't think so. I don't think so. So here's the thing. I'm actually going to just touch on that based on the script that she wrote, right? I mean, like I said earlier, if there's some things that if you haven't experienced it, you won't really understand. It's like Canadian winter.
Right.
If you haven't like actually been there when it's happening, like when I tell my friends, you know, you have to change your tire and then you have to shovel, and they're like, what are you talking about? When you experience it. So it's kind of the same thing. And I don't really know any, so there are, like I said, there are ladders, but I don't really like top producer of color at all.
Yeah, I remember like when we were talking about producing like a little docuseries that I won't say anything about, but we were talking about it, and I was sort of like looking at potentially like bringing in like a director who's also a woman of color to like have that kind of opinion on it as well, because I was like, this is super important to me, like a producer or a director who's a woman of color. And there was like, I reached out on my Instagram to be like, does anybody know anyone who has the capacity to direct or like produce a docuseries? And there was nobody that I could find who was a woman of color who had those capabilities. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough.
No.
But it's like, there's nobody here who's top of mind to be like, this person can do this. And it's so important to have now, especially like, the community here is growing. There's more people who are coming. We have a little bit more production that's moving back to Atlantic Canada. And I feel like it's a real gap here, honestly, to have representation on the back end of film production.
You know, so I'm going to mitigate it a bit. So Screen Nova Scotia is a great body, love it, part of them. And Screen Nova Scotia is doing these things where they are giving, you know, people of color opportunities to kind of shadow directors and producers and stuff. So when a big show, like when Washington Black was in the city, they had, you know, someone shadow the director. And I kind of, anyway, you know, stuff like that. They do that. So there's that. But honestly, there wasn't any. And talking of this story, so this lady wrote it. And the whole plan has been, as they were growing up, there are two sisters, Toby and Nikki. Nikki would write the story and Toby would kind of picture how the story would be. So I was like, she's going to direct it. And she was like, I don't know. She's never made film. I was like, nope, that's going to happen. So my plan was, okay, we'll make something small so that they will see what it's like. And then we'll make something a little bit bigger. And then I'll be like, okay, you know those books I talked about? I want to do the books now. So so she wrote this script. And, you know, it's funny, the whole, if you haven't experienced it. And I remember when some people read the script, they kept saying, you know, so the story is about this interracial couple. And how, you know, and the whole thing is, I love that script. Oh man, Nikki's a good writer. Oh man, he's so good. Because like, it's nuanced, right? You know, so the guy isn't bad. He's just oblivious. And like, not knowing isn't a bad thing. I mean, you should, like, if your girlfriend is a person of color, you should at least try
make the effort to learn.
You know. But he's like this fantastic person. He's like, love is gonna find a way. It's like, did you see how this person was looking at me in the supermarket? And he's like, you know, because you are of a different skin color, you don't understand that. And like, it's just this beautiful script. Anyway, so we had people read it, and people didn't get it. They were like, she has to like suffer. And then, you know, I could see the sister's face. And then when we met, she was like, she's a woman of color. Like, what? Like that is already so much of a load this person is carrying. Why are you saying she has to be a single mother or having... Like,
it's the intersectionality of being able to understand what's going on. And I think, again, like, it's so important to have conversations and people in your life who are willing to like learn and actually listen and be like, okay, maybe this something that I did was not right. Like, I should reflect on it and change and stuff. And I have a very good friend, and she is also Indian and she's dating a Canadian. And one of the conversations that they had right at the beginning of their relationship, again, she was like, as a woman of color, as a person of color, I'm going to have some experiences that you're not going to understand. And you have to be okay with that and be willing to support me in whatever capacity that I need. And he was like, yeah, you're right. And again, like, it's so important to have those conversations right in the beginning in whatever way is important to you. So I think, again, like, communicating, having the right people around you, I think, like, that's, again, like, sort of like so much of what we've talked about is like having the right people around you as well, who are willing to like learn and teach you as well, you know, and add that value to your life. And if you have somebody in your life who's not necessarily adding that value, it's okay to say goodbye to that person.
True. You know, so if you've noticed, like, you know, from Drowned Lovers, that's kind of when I formed my team.
Yeah.
And if you look around, if you even look at the credits on everything I make, it's the same names. And, you know, because like we build this relation, I call them my Avengers, actually. And, you know, we build this friendship and relationship over the years, and understanding each other and respecting each other is a great thing. Anyway, so about these scripts, I love it. It's great and stuff. And then I told the sisters, okay, so this is what we are going to do. And we're going to make it. And I'm going to produce, you write, you direct. And then we did. And the film is done. Well, it's like 90% done, but we've started sending it to festivals. So
amazing.
Hopefully by September, people will get to see this film. So these other scripts I'm talking to you about is like, they're in that same level. You know, I love stories that it's not black or white. I don't think the world is black or white. We have to understand, like, things are more gray. And you have to sit back and open your eyes and try to understand and ask questions and be comfortable with people telling you things you might not like to hear. You know, so these two scripts have all that stuff. So the one that Nikki wrote is called A Walk in the Sun. It's beautiful. And like I said, you know, you have to do A and B. So what I told them once we finished that one, I said, so we have to make a bigger version of that film. Because like, she's so good. I remember when that first draft was already good, but you know, we had to remove some things because of like budget and stuff.
Right.
How she wrote the stories, she took this relationship over not a year, but over the season. So like fall, winter, spring, summer, but she bookended it with when they first met. So it starts with when they meet, it ends with when they meet. But then in between their relationship, it's so good. And then the sister, Toby is like particular. You know, when I shoot, I'm like, boom, let's go. Let's do it. No. Toby is particular. It's like she needs that shot and she slows everything down. And like she works with these actors. We actually had actors in mind to use. And you know them, they're actually a couple, Taylor and Kumbi. That's who we want to use, but then they were making their film, so we couldn't use them. I think that was actually a good thing that happened for us. So we had to like use these actors, and they're, oh my God. And I think, you know, like the idea I had is like, we'll make this film, and then we'll use this film and say, look at this film. We need more money to go and make the bigger version. Right. And I don't think they'll say no when they see what we made, because it's so beautiful. I actually watched it the other day. So I've been always watching you know, like edits on my computer. But watching on a big screen on Tuesday. Anyway, someday, you know, a couple of days ago, and I can't wait for people to see it.
So exciting.
So those are the things. Well, there's something I'm kind of developing. Well, I'm always developing stuff. So I'm developing this thing I want you to produce, because like you have all the skill set, like you're an entrepreneur. I try. No, wait, you did the carrots thing. Do you remember the carrot thing? Let's talk about the carrot thing.
Okay, so this was something that happened in 2019, and it happened through St. Mary's and Enactus, which was the organization that I was volunteering with, and they still work on this project. It's called Square Roots, and their main initiative is to divert food waste from going into the landfill. And something that we did at that time, that I was very fortunate to be able to sort of like start this almost like pillar of Square Roots, which is now called Square Roots Products. and I started it with the leadership team at the time. And it was basically taking produce that is being wasted and converting it into a product that people can use. And at that time we were like, man, what can we do? And I was like, well, I like beer, like maybe we can do something with that. And we were like, yeah. And we have so many connections through the alumni and stuff. And one of our alumni, Jared, he had a connection to Boxing Rock. And we went to them and we were like, hey, we want to make a beer that has, produce that is like what is called ugly produce. It's not bad. It's just like a carrot that is maybe like turned a certain way, or like the top of the carrot is yellow and not orange. And for these like small cosmetic things, they cannot be sold to grocery stores. So they just get plowed back into the field or they go to landfill.
Oh.
So we were like, we want to get a bunch of like fruits or vegetables and make a beer with it. And we learned a lot about the beer making process and stuff like that. And we were like, okay, what fruit and vegetable can we make? And they said that, it has to have a certain sugar level, stuff like that. And we went to our farmers and we found that we had 1,100 pounds of carrots that were going to get plowed back into the field.
Wow.
So we bought 1,100 pounds of carrots, went to the juice press, got it all juiced, and then took it to Boxing Rock and made a beer called 14 Karat Gold.
Yeah.
Because we did like the math. And there was like 1.4 carats in every bottle of beer. And it was amazing because it like completely sold out like a month before, like as it was on the shelves. And we had an amazing promotion, and Boxing Rock is such a wonderful company. And, it was just a really, really great partnership. And now they've gone on, like Square Roots Products has made like a coffee soap bar. They've made like a matcha lotion bar.
Wow.
And it's, again, like students who are doing this really cool stuff to make a difference in the community. And that was definitely a very, very cool thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like you have that skill set. You have like the project management mindset. You have the marketing thing down. You actually work in marketing now.
I do. I work in a marketing agency.
I think honestly, when it comes to producing, that's it. You just need to kind of know what would be good.
Yeah.
And then kind of know how to ask people for money, which you do. And then I think you do that well. And then kind of know how to get the right team together, which you do when you do all your stuff. And then kind of like market stuff, which you do.
Yeah.
Talking about the marketing thing, let's talk about Instagram. Like your Instagram is nuts. How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that happened kind of like at the same time as when all this stuff was going on. And I actually never wanted to have Instagram. Like I had deleted Instagram when I came to university. I was like, this is the stupidest app. Like, I don't want to do any of this. And my friends were like, just get Instagram. What's the big deal? Whatever. And then when I started like taking these photos, I was like, okay, I'll put them somewhere. So I put them on Instagram. And I remember in like 2017, I was like, one day I was like, I'm going to do 10,000 steps a day for a month. And I use my Instagram as a way to like document it and keep myself accountable. And I was like, wow, this is kind of fun. And I became like regular posting that, and I would use it to post like my creative stuff and like things that were on my mind. And it's just kind of been a journey since then, because I've met so many amazing people through it, like you and other people in the creative community. It's such a great way to interact and connect with people. I've made amazing friends and stuff like that. And I think I've gotten to the point now though where I'm a little creatively burnt out. And it kind of like happened last year as well, like pandemic and 2021, there was a lot going on, and there was so much like COVID and like a lot of stuff that happened back home, and I had a lot of loss in my family. I had a lot of health issues, and I was like, you know what, everything kind of sucks right now, and you just feel creatively drained. And I think I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I just need to take a break for a little while. But if you are feeling that like creative flow, Instagram and now TikTok are such a great way to put that out there. Like TikTok is honestly like the up and coming platform to do that stuff on. Instagram is doing everything they can to compete with TikTok. And I really wish they didn't. I wish they would just stay like a photo platform, be good at what they do.
No,
rather
Mark
than
Zuckerberg wants to own all the things.
Oh my God. I didn't go on Instagram because I wanted to make short form video. If I wanted to do that, I would go on YouTube. I would go on Musical.ly. I would do all that stuff. But some people just want to like put their art out there, and Instagram was such a great way to do that, but they can't stop competing with TikTok, which is so frustrating. But like if you're interested in like short form video, if you have a small business or something like that, like TikTok is the best place to be right now. But again, like I'm just so creatively tapped out to make my own stuff at the moment. I want to do a little bit more like back-endy sort of stuff, which is like I get to use my creative mind for like channeling other stuff and telling stories that are really important, and you know, that's kind of where I'm at.
This
right
is
now.
right timing, because
Yeah.
I tell you, if you read this script, you'll be like, let's make it tomorrow. But
Yeah.
you know, but honestly, I just, so initially when I read the script, I was seeing you as acting in it, but then I was like, because initially it was for a different program, but I was like, you know what? Can you ask them if you can apply with this same thing for a different program? And they're like, yeah, you can. I was like, forget. You know, you'd still be great acting in it, but I think the producing part, and since that's kind of where you are at now, I think you'll love the experience is great. And like, honestly, do you know the coolest part about being the producer? When you make this film, and it wins the Best Picture award, it's the producer that it gives it to, because the producer owns the film, really.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Like, honestly, I've learned everything about like film stuff that I have from you. Like, you've taught me so much stuff. And honestly, like, because you were like, yeah, I'll bring you in as like an AD, or I'll bring you in as like a production assistant or something like that. And I think that was like a very... It was the first time that I learned how much there is to the back end. And I was like, you can have so much more control, and you can see everything from the outside, and, you know, offer your tips and be like, no, I think this is the better way to go, or like this might be creatively interesting to try. And there's so much more leeway that you can have as a director or a producer.
Because you know what, you know, actors are like prima donnas and they get all the accolades and they're the ones in front of it, but it starts with the script, you know, and what a producer does is look for that story. And honestly, this story is amazing. And then you just, from there, you just make everything happen. I don't want to, you don't have to say yes. But I think just read it first and then meet the person and see if it gels. But I think it will work. I think so. Okay, I'm going to let you go with this one. So you've done all this thing, you've built your life here. I mean, even your family come here to visit you and all that. So Halifax is home for now. What are some things that you're planning for the next, I don't know, 5-10 years?
I mean, for me, I know that Halifax is not like a permanent home. I do see myself moving in the next little while. So like, people are like, oh, what companies do you want to work for? I'm like, I just want to live in different places my whole life. My main thing right now is, again, to get my citizenship. So because I studied here, I just have to wait for 2 years after I get my PR to get like apply for my citizenship. Before that, I'll probably end up moving maybe to like Toronto or something, just because travel is easy from there. It's a bigger city.
You always have to fucking go there to go anywhere. I hate that thing. I hate that thing.
So irritating.
You know what my answer to that is now? You can fly directly to New York. So I'm like, fuck it. If I'm going to go somewhere, I might as well just go to... Because I hate that. Also, I'm lazy. And the walk from the like, if you are going international, that walk from where your plane lands to where you get to the customs, and it's a lot of... I mean, your feedback will be like, oh, you did great today. But it's like, for me, I'm like, no.
But it's just a matter of convenience, because I travel so much. Like, I travel like 6-7 times a year. So it's just easier from there. I have family in Toronto and stuff like that. But eventually, like, I know I want to do my master's, and I'm potentially thinking about doing like a master's in sustainability, because that's super important to me. And maybe, you know, look at that as like an opportunity to move somewhere else and start like a new phase of my life. So whether that's like moving to the US is on fire right now, so maybe not there. But if I get into a good school, like, I'll go there, or like move to Europe or something like that. I think that is kind of like my main focus for the next like 5 to 8 years, is like that higher education and stuff. But finding a way to obviously like creatively still be like active as much as I can.
Wow, Sehmat, it's always great to talk to you. I'm going to have to bring you back, because we haven't touched anything actually. We just like skimmed the surface.
Yes. This was a catch-up section, basically.
I know you have to run for your, you know, the shoot you have today, but I'm super grateful, and I'm going to pitch you this script, and I hope you like at least take the meeting.
Of course.
But thanks so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.